Hello everyone and welcome to Study IQ English. I'm Joycey Joy. In this video, we'll be discussing about Dutch disease. So this is a term that has appeared in the newspapers recently. So it's a very important topic because it's in the current affairs and this concept is also important. We'll see what is Dutch disease in the perspective of economics. Dutch disease in economics refers to a phenomena wherein a country witnesses uneven growth across sectors due to the discovery of natural resources, especially large oil reserves. See, it is a situation when an economy or when a country witnesses uneven growth. Uneven growth means what? The growth rates are not even, or sometimes there can be an increase, sometimes there can be a decrease. So the growth is not even, or it's not on a direction. It is uneven across different sectors. That is not just in one sector, but between different sectors, primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. Why? Now, what is the reason for this unevenness in the growth? This is because of the discovery of natural resources. We know that when there is a discovery of natural resource in an economy, there is more prosperity or there is more potential for growth in that economy. Because of the discovery of natural resources, especially large oil reserves, a country experiences uneven growth process, and this is what is called as a Dutch disease. According to the concept, when a country discovers natural resources and starts exporting them to the rest of the world, it causes the exchange rate of the country to appreciate significantly, and this in turn discourages the exports from other sectors while encouraging the import of cheaper alternatives. See, we have seen that this is an uneven growth across different sectors. Now, for example, if a country discovers natural resources in abundance or in large quantities, what happens is that then there is an excess of this natural resource for that country, which the country will export to the rest of the world, to other parts of the world. Now, what happens here? Whatever natural resource has been discovered, this export of this natural resource will increase. Now, automatically, we know that whenever the exports from a country increases, there is more demand for that country's domestic currency, and therefore there will be an appreciation of that currency, or there will be an increase in the value of the currency. Now, when a currency appreciates, it's good for the imports but not for the exports, because exports becomes less competitive during appreciation. So when there is appreciation, exports become less competitive. So what will happen as a result of this? In all other sectors apart from this natural resource, there will be discouragement of the exports, and therefore the import of cheaper alternatives will increase. So that's how the other sectors will not grow much. Now let's come to the background and the origin of the term Dutch disease. The term Dutch disease was coined by the Economist magazine in 1977 when the publication analyzed a crisis that occurred in the Netherlands after the discovery of vast natural gas deposits in the Northern Sea in 1959. So this is how the term Dutch disease came into being. This term was coined by the Economist magazine in the year 1977, and the reason was that a publication analyzed a crisis that occurred in Netherlands after the discovery of vast natural gas deposits, and the new found wealth, that is the natural gas resources, and massive exports of oil caused the value of Dutch guilder to rise sharply. That is, it led to appreciation of Dutch currency. And what happened? Making the Dutch exports of non-oil products less competitive in the world market. You can very well connect this example with the definition of Dutch disease which we have discussed. So what happened? For the non-oil products, that is, apart from this natural gas or oil, all the other products became less competitive on the world market. Unemployment rose from 1.1% to 5.1%. Capital investment in the country also dropped. Why? Because the other sectors became less competitive and the growth of the other sectors were less. Dutch disease became widely used in economic circles as a shorthand way of describing the paradoxical situation. See, this is a paradox. On one hand, a country has gained huge natural resources which could be used towards the advantage of that country. But on the other hand, it is at the cost of other sectors. So that's why it is a paradoxical situation. It is used in economic circles as a paradoxical situation in which seemingly good news, such as the discovery of large oil reserves, negatively impacts a country's broader economy. Now let's take some of the examples of Dutch disease. In the 1970s, Dutch disease hit the Great Britain when the price of oil quadrupled, that is multiplied by 3 times, making it economically viable to drill for North Sea oil off the coast of Scotland. By late 1970s, Britain had become a net exporter of oil, though it had previously been an importer. Although, see here in this example, the exports of oil in Great Britain increased. Although the value of the pound skyrocketed, that is, it led to appreciation of pound sterling, the currency of Britain, the country fell into a recession. Why? Because as the currency appreciated, the exports of non-oil commodities reduced. And when there was a reduction in the export of non-oil commodities, what happened? As a result of that, it became less competitive. The market became less competitive, and also the other sectors' growth reduced, as British workers demanded high wages and Britain's other exports became uncompetitive. Now, another example is in 2014, economists in Canada reported that the influx of foreign capital related to exploitation of countries' oil sands may have led to an overvalued currency and a decreased competitiveness in the manufacturing sector. So, this is another example in Canada. Another one is Russian ruble. It greatly appreciated for similar reasons. In 2016, the price of oil dropped significantly and both Canadian dollar and ruble returned to lower levels, easing the concerns of Dutch disease in both the countries. Now, what are the ways in which Dutch disease can be combated, or how it can be confronted? See, the name Dutch disease has come from Dutch, wherein which this problem was first identified. The Economist magazine identified this problem in Netherlands. That's how the name has come up. So first we will see what is the role of fiscal policy in that. How to combat the Dutch disease and the role of fiscal policy. According to the researchers, the role of fiscal policy is important. What is fiscal policy? The policy taken by the central government of an economy. It is important to control the boom following the discovery of natural resources. Rising income due to export of natural resources should be adjusted with cautious spending on public welfare. So public welfare should be given importance. Second is promote public spending policies. Public spending policies such as concentrating on import of tradables rather than non-tradables would help in slowing down the impact of Dutch disease. Private spending in order to improve the productivity of private firms would also help reduce the impact. Next is the role of monetary policy. In an economy, a monetary policy is taken by the central bank of that economy. In case of India, it is done by the RBI. With the discovery of natural resources, the country sees a huge inflow of money, especially foreign currency. This is what exactly happens when there is a discovery of resources. The export of natural resources tends to affect the equilibrium in the money and exchange rate market. The Dutch disease can be prevented if the central bank raises the banking system's reserves requirement, which decreases the domestic credit. How can monetary policy help? The RBI or any central bank for that matter has to increase the reserves of forex, foreign exchange reserves. The reserves should be increased so that there is less circulation of foreign currency in the market. And this will help in reducing the appreciation levels. So these are all the ways by which how we can combat the Dutch disease. So this is it about Dutch disease. I hope this was a useful one for you. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the very best.